Hello guys, this is Myndrr bringing you a new Armored Core 6 PvP build. This one is called the Earwig. It's a lightweight Noctrier frame with a pretty disgusting weapon combo packed onto it. This build takes inspiration from my good friend Mood's build, Silver Lining, where he uses a pulse blade to combo into a Zimmerman shot and then land a pile bunker. This patch buffed linear rifle charge attacks, so we've been experimenting with them a lot. And it so happens that I know from one of my past builds that you can just barely fit earshot grenade launchers onto the back of a full Noctrier build. Turns out you can actually combo Pulse Blade into a Curtis charge attack into earshots, and then another charge attack. The whole combo is about 10,000 damage and it comes off of one Pulse Blade hit. So this build is all about landing that opening Pulse Blade charge attack, although relying on the earshots and the Curtis also works in a pinch. Although the margins with energy and weight are very narrow on this build, there are minor changes you can make with regard to head choices. You could swap out for the Kazuar head if you want a bit more stability. You could use the Tian Huang if you don't care about your stability at all and just want to be as lightweight and fast as possible. You can also take the build in another direction by using different back weapons. I'm pretty sure the earshots are optimal though. Booster choice is down to preference. Some people would prefer the Kikaku because it has higher melee thrust. I like the Alula because it allows you to stay a bit more evasive, but it's ultimately up to you. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some matches. So here in one of our first matches playing the build, we're facing a guy who has energy cannons on his back, and then he has a Karasawa and a Nebula. All stuff that's very hard to dodge already, but there's also ping involved, so we're having a hard time. It's been a while just trying to dodge him. Fortunately, we do manage to eventually catch him coming in, and our combo does land. Here in the second round, I've kind of realized that I'm not going to be able to dodge all of his attacks, even if I play perfectly, because we're on ping. So I'm just going to try melee canceling at him and landing my combo early. If you don't know, melee canceling is done by charging your melee attack and then quick boosting out of it. So you kind of psych people out, it's like a feint. We did land successfully, and GG. On to our next match. We're fighting a hardlock kick reverse joint build that has a dagger combo, and yeah, we have a hard time of it here in this first round. We're kind of getting stun locked by the kicks, and the dagger, very easy to land. One of the easiest combos you can have. Here in the second round, we're going to adjust our strategy. We're going to use pulse armor before we even take any damage because we want to block that kick hit stun. I know that I only have to land one combo to kill this guy, and fortunately I do manage. And here in the third and final round, I want to psych him out just a little and not immediately use pulse armor because he might try to play around it if I do. So I wait until the first engagement's over, and all the pressure is on now. He's not really able to get out of the way of the melee. He's not fast enough. Reverse joint is actually not that fast. Next match, we're fighting a guy who has a pulse shield, which is kind of unusual. You don't see it a lot, but it does sort of counter this build because if you parry the melee, there's not much I can do. So I'm going to try to keep him guessing about what I'm going to do, you know, melee cancel a lot so that his parry window expires and I can just hit the basic shield. And I do manage to do that, and then an additional Curtis shot will land him, so I can basically execute the combo just with an extra shot. And here in this next round, I've been chasing him a long time now, so I'll go ahead and cut that out, but I do lose in the end. Moving on to the third round. Pretty much the same story. I've been chasing him. He's kiting very hard and parrying every time I land my melee, so preventing me from landing my combo, as he should. Unfortunately, he does mess up his parry right there. So he drops his pulse armor, and I don't have mine either, so it's really just down to this engagement here. And I do fortunately land my melee, even though there's a little bit of lag. The combo does come out. On to the next fight. We're facing a guy who has a Zimmerman and missiles, and then a Coral Moonlight. Basically, this guy doesn't have the best legs for fighting me. He's a lightweight build, but he doesn't have very high jump distance, so I'm going to be able to land my melee at will, basically. It's just a matter of staying out of the way of his guns, not getting staggered until that happens. We close out the first round. Here in the second, pretty much the same strategy. We're just going to land our melee at will every time it's off cooldown. We do trade staggers with him right there, so we're not actually able to combo, but the next melee will land, predictably, and GG. Next fight, we're facing Gun 1 of the McDonald's AC squad, and he actually swapped to Vientos when he saw my build, so that stat card is not accurate, but He's going to try to stun me with the Vientos and then let the laser drones kill me when I'm crit. I'm not going to let him do that. I'm going to pop pulse armor as soon as my stagger gauge is high. And I melee cancel into him and land a tipper to do the combo. On to the next round. Pretty much the same story here. He's going to try to get his Vientos onto me early, but against an aggressive player like this, you're kind of at an advantage when you're playing melee, because they run right into your sword. GG. On to the next match. We've been chasing this guy for, has it been a minute, 2 minutes? I don't know how long the timer was, but it's been a long time. Basically, this guy saw that I had a melee weapon and just has pressed the S key for the entire match. We do eventually chase him down on this very annoyingly large map and finish him off. Next round, he charges right into me. I think he's also impatient at how long the match has lasted, but he runs into my sword and we win with the combo. Matches go by fast, huh? Next match, we're fighting against a Ransetsu guy who has Truinos on the same map. He doesn't have super high jump distance legs, and he's not playing super vertically, so it's very hard for him to stay away from the melee. We do land ours right away in the first round there. On to the second round. He's going to try to play more vertically now, because he obviously understands the combo, and vertical tracking really is the weakness of Pulse Blade, if there is one. It's really hard to hit people who are right above your head, so this guy's going to kind of float above me, and it's bad for his Ransetsu tracking also, but it's better than not landing anything, which is the story of my life right now. So what goes up must come down, and he has to come down for energy, but I realize right there that he has a shield, because he parries me with it, and that's not what I wanted to see after having him float above me for 45 seconds. Fortunately, we can finish it out with the Curtis into the combo. Here in the next match, we're facing a super heavy biped who has Ransetsus and then laser turrets, I think, on his back. Very unusual build, very, very tanky. It's going to take more than one combo to kill him. And he also blocks part of my combo using assault armor there. But it's going to be easy to land the blade onto him. It's just a matter of doing it in a way that doesn't make me lose all my HP. And here we see the laser turrets kind of coming in clutch for him. They damage me every time I go for my combo, because I have to remain stationary for a moment. I have to stance the weapons. I do actually manage to close it out here, but it is pretty close. A little close for comfort. Here in the second round, I'm actually going to miss my first melee. I come up slightly short. Kind of took for granted how easy it would be to melee him and kind of just forgot about spacing. My next melee, I actually didn't charge, so I'm really throwing here. I'm trying every throw in the book. I do land the next melee and into the combo, but because I have to sit still for the combo, the turrets just shred me. There's 6 of them out, and they're all landing all of their DPS on me. So for the next round, I'm going to manually aim some earshots into him, and then sort of leave the area that he's chilling in. I'm just going to let him know that if you want to win this, you have to chase me a little. And that's what he does. He comes in. So I reciprocate. I come in and melee cancel onto him. And he doesn't have tons of turrets out, so I can actually fight him. At least for a little while, until my pulse armor wears off, and I'll get out of dodge. That's what I do. I back up out of this turret area, and again he has to approach me because he has lower HP. I want to melee cancel into him ASAP here, because I don't want him to get all of his turrets out, but he actually manages to dodge it, which I really wasn't expecting. Really messes up the tempo of what I was trying. So I go for manually aimed earshots here to finish him off, but they don't manage to stun him. He's a very heavy build. The Curtis will finally do it, but I can't combo him with my melee here. The angle is wrong. I'm right above him. So I have to wait for my earshots and just narrowly manage to do it. Here on the next match, we're on the same map, but we're facing a lightweight build who has like laser drones, a Huxley, laser dagger for comboing, and I forget what his last weapon is, but it's a pretty hard build to catch with melee. And I actually managed to get in with the Curtis, but I can't finish him off. I can't land another Curtis shot in time. And he's just going to play very carefully here. He's not going to run into a melee. He's not going to run into a bunch of Curtis shots. And he has the better weapons for landing from this range. So I try to manually aim some earshots into him as a Hail Mary. Doesn't work. And then I try to Pulse Blade him, but he wins the damage trade by just a little margin. Next round, I actually managed to land a melee, but Assault Armor saves him. And I actually managed to stun him again with the Curtis, but the follow-up Curtis shot is not landing on this guy. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just charging the Curtis a little bit late, and that's why. We enter into the same kind of mode here of trying to chase him down and finish him, but he's playing a very lightweight and evasive build, and he's playing it very carefully, choosing his moments to engage wisely. And he actually assault boosts in right here, which I really didn't expect. I probably could have manually aimed an earshot if I knew he was going to do that, but he's staying unpredictable. And true to that unpredictability, he's going to assault boost into me again, and I don't have time to go into manual aim for my earshots, so they're going to miss. He actually manages to get out scot-free because that Curtis just misses. My FCS really let me down there. Could have won the match off of that. Unfortunately, all I can do here is go for a Curtis shot. That one also misses, so we do lose. GG, he played well. Here into the next match, we're facing a guy who has a lot of different weapons. He's got missiles, he's got a coral nebula, he's got a melee weapon. Is that the oscillator? A lot of things to think about, but all we really need to think about is landing our combo on him, which we do, because he's not really mobile enough to stay out of the way of the melee, doesn't have super high jump distance, and he's not super floaty. He does manage to dodge early in the next round, but it's really just a matter of time. He's actually going to tech the earshots here using his assault armor. It's a good timing, or lucky timing, either one. Tries to chase us with the pulse blade, but he didn't use the right. He should have charged it, really. He zigs when he should have zagged and gets hit by the full combo. Very unfortunate timing. GG, sir. Here in the next match, we're facing a Gridwalker build who's going to try to stay directly above our heads, which is exactly where we don't want him to be. We're going to melee cancel to kind of throw him off a little bit. His horizontal movement is not going to be, you know, super good given that he's playing Gridwalker. So we can kind of melee cancel to throw him off axis and then potentially get a melee in. We assault boost up because, you know, he's fresh on energy. We're never going to get there if we just hover up. And we do manage to finish him off. Second round, I actually backed up a little bit, and now I'm going to assault boost into him so that the angle is right. You know, you can't go directly upwards with assault boost. We managed to catch him with the melee, and one combo is really all it takes. He's not super tanky or anything. GG. Next match, we're facing a guy who has a super lightweight stun gun build. It's the Fermiza parts, and he's probably boosting at around 410 speed, if not higher. So very fast. It's going to be super difficult to get in on him and actually land a melee. We do melee cancel a little bit faster than he moves, but you know, it's still extremely hard if he's just pressing S, which he will do when he sees us start charging the melee. So I'm just kind of psyching him out, trying to get him to come into us, and he fortunately does for long enough to hit him with the tip of the sword. Fortunately, these super lightweight builds do not survive the combo, and terminal armor expires after 5 seconds, and GG. Next round, we're going to try to implement the same strategy, basically. Lure him in. If he comes at us, then it's a lot easier to hit him than if he's just pressing S perpetually, but he's playing much more cautiously now. He's moving laterally every time he comes in, and with that kind of movement speed, moving laterally will do it. We actually start playing with our earshots and our Curtis more at this point, because realistically I'm just not going to hit the melee unless I start making him think about other stuff. So I go for some mix-up melees there, but nah, he's still thinking about the pulse blade almost exclusively, so try to mix it up with the earshots. I really should have manually aimed them, but I'm not trying super hard right here. I can realistically win this even without playing optimally, just by going for Curtis charge shots and the occasional earshot. That's one benefit of playing this over Mood's version of the build, is that it's not combo reliant. You can just use the weapons on your back to win. GG. Alright, next match we're facing a very good player who's using one of the more optimal lightweight builds. It's a Viento build with a laser dagger, and basically how this works, he stuns you with the Vientos. They have some of the highest impact damage in the game. Actually might be the highest right now, but after he stuns you, he does the dagger combo. Very easy to land and high damage. It's like 5,000 damage. And if you try to assault armor or pulse armor out of it, he'll pop his assault armor, which will re-stun you. And then he can just do the dagger again, because it has no cooldown, basically. Unfortunately, it's going to be very hard for us to land a melee on this guy. He is lighter and faster than us, has extremely big quick boosts that will get him out of the way of our melee without even having to try very hard. And he has Vientos, which will outrange us pretty significantly. So all I can do is go for Hail Mary stuff right here. I go for just a bizarre earshot play that doesn't work out at all. trying to melee cancel into him, but it's just not going to work. I really should have manually aimed these ear shots, but hard to do. Hard to swap between manual aim and soft lock on the fly. GG, he was very good. We rematch him, and I'm going to try to play more with my ear shots and my Curtis. This guy is not going to let me melee him. I'm just going to use it to apply some pressure, keep his energy low, and really just give him another thing to think about so that I can land these ear shots, which are kind of my win condition. And I'll also keep his energy low with the occasional Curtis shot, because why not? I think he has Santai, so this guy has tons of energy. He has a much bigger generator capacity than me. I actually managed to stun him, but I didn't have my ear shots. But they do come off a cooldown right when he's coming in. Good round. That's a close one. Second round, pretty much the same strategy. Just going to try to win with the ear shots mainly. It's really hard to swap to manual aim quick enough when you're fighting someone at this kind of pace, because I also want to use my Curtis here. I managed to not get stunned by the assault armor. I really would have just lost right there if I did. Unfortunately, the ear shots land. GG. That was a hard match. Next match, we're facing a kiting build that has a Huxley, Ransetsu's, and then one of the active tracking missiles, the slow ones. Kind of hard to play against when he presses S. He's moving a bit faster than me in terms of boost speed, but I could catch him if I melee cancel properly. Unfortunately, I actually get hit by the Ransetsu's right there. I really didn't expect them to reach so far. Normally they ricochet at a bit closer range than that. I think probably the ping was involved there. Second round, we're going to play a little bit more carefully and use more melee cancels, because we're not going to catch him with just one or two. We really need to chain them and use all of our energy. We managed to finally hit one and combo him. He's pretty lightweight. It's a Noctrier frame, so one combo will do it. Same story this round. We're going to melee cancel till we're right on top of him, otherwise we're not going to land. Unfortunately, his Seeker missile hits me at the wrong time, but I can finish up with the Curtis into the ear shots. GG. Next match, we're facing a Kazuar build who has a Coral Generator, and that is good news for me. It means that I can expend all of his air dashes by assault boosting into him, which is a lot more energy efficient than air dashing, and he's basically a sitting duck at that point. This guy would have to play very carefully in terms of his positioning in order to win this match. He has to stay right above my head and be very disciplined, but he disconnects in the next round, so GG. Next match, we're facing a guy who's playing a reverse jointed sort of kicking build, hardlock kicks, and then he has a pulse blade and dual missiles. Very hard to dodge stuff. Oh, he also has a Majestic, which is possibly the hardest to dodge weapon in the game right now. It's certainly up there. It has proximity detonation, so all of his stuff is really hard to dodge. We're kind of going to be DPS racing him because his stuff's going to be landing no matter what. It means we just have to land ours quicker. And the first round does not go our way. We get hit by everything. Second round, we're going to melee cancel into him and miss, but we still have our ear shots, and he has a very lightweight build, so we don't necessarily have to combo him. 2 ear shots without comboing will still kill him, and he pulse armors preemptively here. He knows I'm coming in for the melee, but I can strip it off of him with the pulse blade. Pulse blade actually has a damage bonus against pulse armor. Our ear shots will land. He comes in at ground level. Really should have been more aerial if he wanted to win that round. This round he is going to make that adjustment. He's going to start floating above me. I don't think he has a very high capacity generator, so he can't just stay up there indefinitely. So what goes up must come down, and we're going to force the issue a little bit. I'm kind of impatient, and I assault boost up to him. This is something you can do against floaty builds that have weak generators, is just assault boost at them. It's like a stat check. How much energy do you have? Like, how many air quick boosts can you do? Because I can melee cancel and it's a lot more energy efficient. Anyway, we land the combo, GG. Next match, we're facing another reverse joint build, and he chooses the wrong moment to land right here. He probably didn't realize that I had a melee, and I think he also hard landed because he was out of energy, which it stuns you for a second. So he gets full comboed. It doesn't quite kill him, but breathing on him will do it at this point. And I try to finish him off with the melee for style points, because why wouldn't you? But I'll stop messing around and just finish him off with the Curtis. Next round, I'm thinking about melee canceling into him here, but my energy is not really right, and I notice he's going to land here, so I go ahead and shoot my ear shots. Resource-wise, it's just a foregone conclusion at this point. Really no way for him to win unless he plays perfectly. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to follow my YouTube or my Twitch. It'll be in the description. And until next time, see ya.